Okay, so we're back with episode 2, and what I wanted to do here is, since the first video was mainly about just kind of getting a feel for the beginning part of the game, I wanted to give you a view into the ending part of the game. So this is very late game. This is a character I've been playing for probably about 7 years in game time, which is significant. At this point, there's very little that can cause a real problem or maybe take this character down. And looking at her setup, her skills on the left-hand side are now starting to get into the 10 and plus neighborhood, which is pretty obscene, especially when you're starting in, 1 or 2 points at the beginning, 3 or 4 if you're amazing. So this is significant. Also, this character is, at least with the run that I have on this one, I would say more machine than man or woman at this point. This is a view on bionics. So there's a whole system that the game has on bionics you can install onto yourself. Some of them are active, like you see here, and they do different things. One might be internal UPS, which I can power systems, and I'll show you that in a little bit. Other ones could be, I have this thing that can make it so when people try to shock me, it doesn't work. So if I get lightning bolted, yeah, not so much. Flamethrowers, chain lightnings, I can filter out all the blood in my system so that if there's any impurities or drugs or disease, things like that, all kinds of stuff. Turn off my eyeballs, make it so that I don't feel pain. I can use electromagnets in my hand, stuff like that. And then passive ones as well that are on all the time. Like just, plating my head and arms and legs, making myself stronger, recycling food better. I have solar panels so I can recharge. Things like this. So this is a whole aspect of the game that is usually more mid to late game. And it looks very dark in here, and the reason why is because I'm inside my little mobile base. So if I pop outside real quick, I can actually go to the front. And this is a mobile base that I made for myself out of a security van, and then repurposed it and made it something far beyond what it was before. In the first session, we saw an RV where you'll actually, inside the RV, have a little kitchen set up. This has a kitchen set up too, and it has a ton of storage space, and it has a lot of floor trunks, and it has a bed so that I can take this away from my base when I want to go somewhere very far. Speaking of far, let me actually close these doors so nobody comes in here. If I look at the map, before we could only see very, very little of the map. And actually, let me pop inside real quick. It's a little hot out there. It's windy and it's rainy. This is the map on this game. Now, again, this is 7-8 years in the game. What you saw from before was a tiny little splotch of space, because at the beginning you don't really know anything around you. I've traveled quite a bit in this game, so you can see just how far you can start to go. There's a lot of places I haven't gone yet, but I even did kind of a little cross-country view into this whole area and came down over here. Now, this is very far from where my base is. My base is over here, this little C. So this is a little cabin, and you can see there's some other people in the top left there that are showing. Those are NPCs that have joined me, other survivors that have decided to join me. There's been others that I've met over time that I've had to kill because they try to steal from me, or they just wanted to be mean, or usually one of those two, and then I'll end up killing him with this character. But not everybody is bad or hostile, so lots of ways you can go. What I wanted to do though is kind of just pop around here and show what's in this area and show how different of an experience it is. In episode 1, I was running away from everything. In this one, everything should really be running away from me. They're not going to because they're zombies, but you can start getting into things like, boom, I'm pulling a rapier here. That's my main weapon. Hard to find these things. You'll also notice on the right-hand side, this in red, this thing that says fencing. Over time, you can learn different martial arts styles, and these will just let you be even more effective with certain things. Beyond that, let me just go into my inventory. On the right-hand side, you can see that I'm kitted out with a ton of shit. So, yeah, the rapier is my main weapon because I don't have to worry about reloading it. I also have a couple backup weapons, what I call my oh shit weapons. My primary one is this laser rifle. So I can use this laser rifle to shoot at things, and it actually uses my own bionic power. You can have batteries on you, but why do that when you're, a machine? And then even beyond that, I've got this big ass hand cannon that holds just a shit ton of rounds as a further backup. One thing that'll kill you in this game quickly is overconfidence and just running into stupid places. So having some backup weapons and some bullshit backups will save you. And I've saved this character a number of times. So let's go ahead and get moving. This is a little fold-and scoot that I built. Let me actually pop off real quick so you can see. This game has a whole vehicle building and control system. So I actually created this little bike kind of thing. You know, imagine this little like dirt bike with light frame that folds up. So I can take my mobile base somewhere, throw this thing on the ground, unpack it, and then I have a couple things that are not foldable, like wheels, or in this middle area, this big-ass storage bed. It holds a ton of electrical charge, but it weighs like 300 pounds. It's like one of those big things you see in a huge electric vehicle. So I just slap all that stuff on with a welder when I get to my spot, and then when I'm done, I just strip it all off, pack it up, and then throw it back in the car. And I'll be showing that as I go through this. So let's actually just drive around a little bit. So let me go ahead and pop down here, and we're just gonna scoot our boot down to this area. Everything you see in gray are places that I've explored, so there's a lot of gray in this area, and kind of my little mission that I was doing right now just for kicks, waiting for my farms back at the cabin to grow. And yeah, there's farming. There's a lot of ways you can get food. Is we were just kind of popping around here and killing some shit and finding some stuff and looting some things that we, to be honest, don't really even need. But there's some SWAT trucks down here that have some cool things in there that I wanted. Not so much on equipment, but more so building materials. So let's hop down there. So we're just flying down, just making sure. Doing this in a normal game would be stupid. There's a zombie right there. Let me show you just how different of an experience this is. Let me just get out and get off this thing. So, yeah, we see the zombie. There's a zombie over here. Before, this would have been like really rude, but now I'm not even going to attack this guy, I'm just going to wait. So when he tries to hit me, boom! So because you have all these, the higher your skill gets, and then the more you use these different styles, you can do counters, you can do all it. It's just, it gets pretty ridiculous. But it's very rare that something causes a problem for me anymore. I suppose I can come over here and take a look, see if he had anything on him. Nope. So we can just smash his body and be in our merry. And just keep being about it. So let's, where was this thing? Straight over to the side here. Yep, and there's something else down here. A security van. Let's go take a look at the security van. So later on in the game, there we go. You may want to start building stuff. So over here, there's a couple things that are interesting. Let's see, we have a hazmat zombie over here. We'll go say hi to him. Yeah, there he is down there. We're going to slow down just to a feral predator. Awesome! So we're going to be able to take a look at some of this fun stuff that I was telling you about. Let's see if I can do this without smashing my car. So there was a lot of guys down in the bottom right there. So let's wrong way. Let's get a little closer. Let's turn off our little bike, little electric bike, and come take a look. Now that feral predator is actually kind of mean, and if it hits me, it'll make me bleed. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna come down here, finish off that guy right quick. And if we take a look, that feral predator is on us. And actually looks like the predator from the movie. If this guy hits you, he does just a ton of damage, and we don't like that. He'll make you bleed. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to pull out our laser rifle, and we're going to let this guy get a little closer. Now, I could shoot him from here, but you can see the aim. The closer to the right that bar gets, the better chances we have of hitting. I think that's close enough, so let's go ahead and start shooting at this guy. And he's dead. So this doesn't take ammunition, it takes power. And on the top right, you can see they have a little power thing there, again, being that, what do you call it, being that cyborg person. I don't really have to worry about it too much, so it's pretty awesome. You're also seeing some different zombie types over here. There's a zombie technician over there. We don't want this guy to be around anymore. There's a zombie technician, and he has those bionics on him, which we both... Oh, did he just pop up? He did. Okay. So that dude must not have been pulped. He must not have been smashed. Zombies will come back to life. Let's go ahead and... There's a zombie technician somewhere around here. We have to be careful for him. There he is. Because he can pull... With bionics, he can pull metal things out of your hand. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over to my rapier. I'm going to let some of these guys come over here. There we go. Smash those guys. Okay, now the zombie technician's coming over here, so what we're going to do is we're going to put our rapier away, and instead we're going to switch our style over to, I don't know, Taekwondo. We could do Kung Fu Gun, I suppose. Yeah, let's do Taekwondo. That's fine. So we're going to come over here, and now with nothing in our hands, we're going to come over here and just... boom! Dunzo. And we can see he doesn't have anything, but what he does have are bionics, so we may be able to cut some out of him. So we're going to butcher this dude, and now if we take a look, look, he has a power storage CBM, so I can use this to either install it in my body and get more power, which is awesome, or I could break it down and then get plutonium. So there's this whole, let's see if you can see on the left-hand side, you're disassembling this item, it gives you stuff, and with that stuff is crafting, and so there's a whole crafting system that's in this game that we haven't even looked at yet. Most of the things that I have on me, especially all the things that say Survivor, excuse me, are things that you can build yourself. So you can really kit your guy out however you want. You don't have to do all the, you don't have to do all of the scrounging in the game if you want. You could just be somebody that just makes everything or lives off the wild. So lots of ways you can do it. Look at all that red up there. It's a wreckage. I don't really care about that so much. So let's come up here. There's some soldier ants. Oh, they're punks. That's rude. I think I looted this already. Yeah, there's some guns in here. That's cool. Okay, so anyways, that's and look, there's all this loot over there we can go and get. What is that? It's a grocery store? I mean, sure, we can get the food if we wanted to. I mean, let's take a look at these stuff. We'll just pop through. Awesome. Oh, there's cockroaches. You see how much easier this is now. I mean, unless it's something that's really rude, it's pretty silly at this point. Let's just take a look, see if there's anything in here we want. Books are great. They'll both get your skills up, and then giving you recipes. That's the primary way that you end up learning how to make new things. Other nice stuff is, like flashlights, and you can get some fruit and some cough syrup if we need to. This flashlight over here, we don't need the flashlight, but what we will do is we'll take the batteries out of it. It's always nice to have extra batteries. Can't go wrong. Even simple things like this, the shopping cart. Now this one has been pretty much wrecked, and you could scrape it along the bottom because you can see on the left casters are destroyed. So there's a lot that's built into this game. Okay, so let's come back, and I didn't mark where my vehicle was in the map, so I have to see if I can remember where I put it. There we go. And what we're going to do is drama novels. You can pick these up and just read them, so there's a whole morale system in the game. Right now my guy's pretty happy, but if you kill an innocent, or if you're killing zombie children, or if you're just wet, or if you're feeling cranky, or if you're sick, or whatever, then that just affects your morale. You don't really want to do anything. Conversely, if you're eating really nice food, or if you're wearing fancy stuff, and you're feeling super cool, then it'll be higher, and then usually you can do things faster, better, stronger, and all that good stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remember where I parked. That whole section on the right there, it's all broken up as a minefield, so we're going to not drive on that. I'm pretty sure that a mine would still wreck my day. Yeah, even this late in the game. Yeah, that would hurt. Oh, a riot control bot is down there. Is he coming after us? No. We're going to let him do his thing. Okay, so we're just going to come up ahead here, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to slow the sucker down. Good. Zoom in. So we have our little vehicle here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to, let's see, I may have to move it over this way, but there we go. Cool. I'm going to bring it over here, and then I'm going to break this thing down. So what we're going to do is we're going to examine it. Now, this thing is foldable. The problem is I need to take these wheels off. And right now I don't have a jacking tool. So let's do this. If I come in here, is that going to close off? And remove the wheel. Because I have some jacking tools inside here. I may have to, that's fine. We'll come into inventory. This thing is kitted out. So we have a little bottle jack. This is again my moving base. So I have lots of tools. I got drugs. I've got, where is it? I got food in here somewhere. There it is. Yeah, a bunch of dried food. Things will waste as well, so you gotta watch out. Okay, so we have a bottle jack. Now we should be able to, perfect, pop them off. And you can see on the right, there's different tools and things. We have a tool belt. So let's go ahead and pop off this wheel. Good. And then this wheel. Again, this is too big to be foldable. And then we're going to remove the storage battery. Awesome. So that took a little bit of time. And now, since it's smaller, we can fold it. And then what I can do is I have a little box in here that's dedicated to nothing but this stuff. So we're going to go ahead and put it on there. Bloop. There we go. See? It just breaks down and we're fine. We can close the sucker back up and we're good to go. Now, we can't see pretty much anything in here, and this is done on purpose. So this way I can sleep in here, I can work in here. This is a nice space, and as long as zombies don't see you, or if they don't get too close and smell you, they usually don't bother you. So this is a nice little safe area. Up front, though, it's really hard to see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fire up the car, and you probably saw these little blue things on the outside. This is the camera system. So now I can turn on all the cameras. I have one on the left, the right, and the back of the car. So boom, here you go. I even think I have one on the front as well. Because this whole front section here that you see little bars, I even have little curtains that can be drawn, so that if there's anything that I want to make sure they don't see me, so I can just drive through. I can pull them in and then just turn on the cameras and presto changeo, good to go. So what we're going to do is we're going to drive up this road here and go back to the base, and I'm going to see if I can not hit everything along the way. Okay, so we have to watch out for rocks. Rocks will still mess this thing up. This thing is military grade armored, and it's got all kinds of beautiful things in it to make sure that I try not to use this to smash into anything as best I can. But I want to make sure that it's going to be safe just in case. It has all heavy duty frames. The thing is a bruiser. But if we run into big ass boulders or run into a ton of zombies, that can still be problematic. You can see as we're driving and turning, we don't have perfect view, and that's fine. This thing is not meant to be zippy. That's what the other little car is for. So we're coming back over to our base. There we go. And here's our base down below. Slow this thing down. Come on in. And this is the base. Let's go ahead and park this bad boy. Now, usually I turn it around, but for now I'm not going to care. Just easier to take stuff out the back. Oh, and I forgot to turn off the camera system. Perfect. Okay, come on out. Everything can stay here. I'm not really worried too much. See those little blue things on the outside? Like here and here. Those are all the little security cameras. This is my police car for little further day trips, and this is a little local electric runner. Just easy peasy. So I can come down here, and this is the inside the little cabin. Redecorated, put some all the storage items and things like that. Like you can see over here in this little top. Just to my left here, these are all my clothes and armor and pieces like that. And then over here, this is all my tools and stuff. And then over here, this is just random shit that I could use to make things with. Because again, crafting is big. Down in this corner here, I have just a shit ton of books. And these are all important both for learning things and then also getting, you can see down in the bottom right, like there's all these crafting recipes. At the beginning, you don't know how to make an electric hair trimmer. If you'd want to make one, I don't know, but you know. But yeah. And then over down here, we have our guns. You can see I'm a little bit of a hoarder, and that's okay. That's on me. Lots of magazines and guns and drugs and all kinds of good stuff. And then lots of people. And these people you can learn from, and you can even have them come and join you, and they can fight with you. They'll hop in your car, they'll drive around with you. You can see on the outside I also have a bunch of solar panels, because this is actually a vehicle, quote-unquote vehicle, that I built into the house so that I can have refrigerators. So over on the left here, these are refrigerators, little mini fridges, so I can keep food from going bad. And then welding systems, I have a whole alcohol setup over here, and a recharging station, chem labs, stuff like that. So there's a lot you can do in this game. There's also a little cart that I have, so if I want to be able to move a lot of stuff around, this can carry a lot more than I can. And then in the back I have, this is the farm, and right now everything's planted. I'm just waiting for it to grow, and then that's a tractor down there, so I can use it just to pump everything out I need. So fun and exciting. As far as crafting goes, like here, this is my little crafting area. you can come into the crafting section and you can see there's just a ton of stuff. So if I wanted to make a ranged weapon, I could make a rail rifle, or I can make a tube launcher, or I can, and then all these things are modifiable. So if you come over and see homemade hand cannon, like cool, I can make a homemade hand cannon. On the bottom right is a section for mods, so you can mod these things even more. Like, well, I don't have any mods, where would I make those? Well, right over here, so I can come over to mods. This is not even all the mods in the game. I've had other games where I've been able to make different things that are here. And there's some things even now I can't make because they require, and you can see in the red, kind of like the middle left area, that I need tools, and I don't have that stuff, and I haven't found it, and I don't know how to make that stuff. So there's a reason, there's an incentive to go look for stuff. And again, this is even, 7-8 years into the game, so it's sizable. And all the different things you need, you can make different ammo. There's all the different kinds of food you want to make, some of which can store well, some of which are like salt, going to be components, stuff like that. Lots of chemicals. You can get into making mutagens for mutating your character. I don't know why I'd want to do that, but you can get some cool stuff. Or CBMs. So these are all these the bionic units you can put in yourself, or just making different tools. Maybe you want to make a jackhammer to plow through some walls. I don't know. Same thing with your setup for all your gear. These are all the armor. Lots of different storage options of how do you want to carry more stuff. Again, that towel only holds so much. Full suits of everything, your head, your torso. They have a whole, I think I showed this in the last one, but here's everything I'm wearing on my torso. And it shows how much storage it is, and it shows how protective it is and why I wear it. Great plate armor, awesome. This is super good for keeping me safe, but it doesn't hold anything. I can't put my keys in plate armor. That's a bummer. That's why I have other stuff. So anyways, this kind of gives you a view on that the long game of how you can start building up over time. And there's just a lot of meat to sink your teeth into in this game. A lot of meat on the bone. Anyways, I think that does it for episode 2, and I don't know if I'll make more than this. I don't think so at this point. But yeah, that should give you at least a decent enough view on early game, late game, and then mid game, and everything in between is where shit's dangerous. And you don't know if you're going to live or you're going to die, and that's the fun part about the game. Once you get into the late game, it's kind of you're setting your own challenges, but the random dangers of the world really aren't doing anything for you anymore. And this is when things start slowing down. And so you may look to do a mega project, or maybe start a new character entirely and retire this one. Anyways, hope you enjoyed it. Take care. Bye.